Everything is a conversation. Every voice has value, and every conversation is an opportunity to transform lives. Join us on the journey to find the goal. Hey, I'm Cindy-Leigh.
And I'm Teesh.
Welcome to another great episode of Hello from Us Co.
It's so good to have you back with us.
It is. This is episode number 9.
Can you believe it?
No, I actually can't, because that means we've been going for 9 months.
9 months. Could have had a baby by now.
You could have.
Well, this is kind of our baby.
It is. And it's
much love and nurturing. Some late nights, sleepless nights.
Yes, matter of fact, as recording this, we've just come off our Sunday services.
Yep. So,
yes.
But, you know, like a new baby, it's fun.
So what have you been up to this month?
So much. Well, just in between sick kids, work, and, you know, the household chores. Or
doing it every day.
Yeah, doing it every day. But yeah, so glad that I still get to do this podcast. It's honestly, who would have thought we've been doing this for 9 months? We're just one more episode for this season, but don't worry, we are definitely coming back.
We will be back, that's for sure.
I'll be back. She'll be back.
Actually, this month has been quite a big month for both of us. It's been good. It has its ups, has its downs, and it has its merry-go-rounds.
Oh, look at me! Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? We also went on a mini vacay.
Yes, that was fun
families.
up the sunny coast, so that was really cool for the kids to hang out.
They had a blast.
They did.
Honestly, they were water sliding and all those good things. I'll say water skiing, but it definitely was not water skiing.
No. I didn't let that happen.
So in this episode, we're wrapping up our friendship series.
Yep.
And we're going to be finishing on something really special. We're talking about friendships across generations.
Yeah. Should you have friends that are not your age?
Should you?
Well, I think they should be above 18. Keep it legal.
Keep it legal. Definitely. You know, and I love, we're going to be talking about like exploring the dynamics of, you know, friendships from, you know, that are older than you and the benefits of it.
Yeah, intergenerational friendships.
100%. So let's do it, shall we?
Shall we?
So mate, do you think it is important to have friendships like younger and older?
Absolutely. I think like one of the things that's more common in the culture and society we live in today is this kind of thinking of one generation can't understand the other.
Yeah, it's a misconception.
It really is a huge misconception, and I think like as we have developed or evolved in time, our thinking around this has shifted so dramatically that we're losing the art and the richness of having these intergenerational friendships and relationships.
Yeah.
We kind of write off an older generation, or you know, a young technology generation might be written off by someone, you know.
Yeah, and yet
who like to use a biro and write home.
Yeah, and yet the truth is that you can learn from both.
Yeah, and like I think the truth is the basis of this podcast. Everything is a conversation.
Yep.
And you can find gold in every conversation.
Absolutely.
So you've got to go looking for it. And so then it begs to ask the question, do we write off people too much if we're just looking, you know, in a very, very niche market about who's our age and they should be our friends? And, you know, what about life experience and what about wisdom?
Wisdom's a big one, isn't it? Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a beautiful part of friendship.
Yeah.
I know one of the things my dad used to say when I was little, mainly about my own behavior, was he'd say, it is far easier and less painful to learn from the mistakes of others. And I never got that as a child, or maybe I was even rebellious about it as a teen.
Yeah.
But certainly as an adult now, I'm like, yeah, tell me the mistakes before I make them, and they cost me something, you know.
It's funny you don't want to hear it though.
You don't, but, you know, you appreciate them now, but you also then, I think as an adult, that's made me go and seek out the opinions and experiences of people that are not my age.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I think having intergenerational friendship is a must-have in life.
Yeah, I definitely believe that too. I know for myself, like experiencing younger friends and older friends has been super, like, it's been a blessing, and it's been, I don't know, it's like, I guess the word like enlightening. It's just, I don't know, it's refreshing sometimes. And like, I even know just the friendship I had like with my pop.
Yeah.
He wasn't just my pop, he was your friend.
Yes.
And, you know, the wisdom and the years of experience
Yeah.
that you learnt of him and you gleaned of him. And like you said, you're learning from the mistakes and stuff. And so for me, like one of my greatest friends is older than me. And it's just, yeah, it's weird that you think that's weird, but like some people do think it's weird. It's like, oh, you're older friends, but it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and there's gems and pearls of wisdom that come from them, and sure, there's things that you think, okay, they don't get me.
Yeah.
There's that too, but that's just a generational thing, or is it also just my ignorance of not wanting to learn and experience more too, you know, because we can just dispose of it, or we can actually learn and embrace it. And I think for me, especially growing up in church life and as a pastor's kid, you're around all different ages all the time. So you learn, you know, I had younger friends, I had older friends, I had friends that were my age, and it's interesting, the whole concept of
and I think like one of the things we take for granted is in an intergenerational friendship, whether you're the older friend or the younger friend, both provide an extremely beautiful opportunity for mentoring.
Oh, yes.
So to be mentored or to be a mentor.
Mentor, yeah.
And not about everything, like no one is an expert on everything, but just being authentically yourself and encouraging someone by the way you live, or learning and being encouraged by the way someone lives. I think is all the richness that we can find in these kind of intergenerational friendships.
Oh, 100%. So yeah, there's so much, I think, you know, there's so much we can learn from having younger and older. And I think it's a great learning curve for us to take the time out and learn how does that generation function in order for me to communicate and be a good friend. Because the way I am with my older friends is totally different to the way I've got to respond to a younger friend. So I've had to, you've got to learn, even like now having my nephew live with me and looking after him, it's like, oh my goodness, this kid is like different because he's from a different generation. What is he? He's 15, so he's a Gen something. I can't remember. What was that?
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha. And they function differently. But he does like, it's like I'm getting annoyed at him, but he's like, why are you annoyed? It's like, that's not what we did when we were growing up.
So talking about like different generations functioning differently, it reminds me of this book that I read, The Lies That Bind Us. It's by an author, Kwame Appiah. And he talks about, so the whole book, the idea, the concept of the book is rethinking identity. What makes up our identity? Is it gender, culture, religion, geography? But then he kind of erodes away at that thought by saying, remove all of those things become imagined community because someone has said to us our commonalities or our shared experiences, or has used language perhaps that is persuasive of like finding belonging and community. So like talking about what it means to be truly Australian, you know? What does that mean? Is it like having Vegemite on toast?
G'day, mate.
Or, you know, or even the concept of mateship, but you take all of that away, and like same thing with this generational gap we perceive. At level best, we're all human with the same hierarchy of need, but in a changing landscape. Because you think of Generation Alpha, like your nephew and actually all of my children, they've grown up in a digital, technological age.
Yeah.
They've never known an age without it.
That's right.
And so the landscape of life looks very different for them.
Oh.
They are the precipice of a generation that will not be able to go back.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what back is. They don't
Yeah.
know a life before technology.
No.
Although, how do we connect? We connect on a level of humanity, the need for,
Yep.
you know, love, acceptance, compassion, empathy. So I think, again, talking about intergenerational friendships, I don't know that there's such a gap. I think what is missing is our awareness and our desire towards wanting to grow and helping others grow.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? If you want to have, if I want to build a friendship with my nephew, I've learned that hey mate, can you show me how to do that?
Yeah.
It's like, and then he looks, it's like, oh, okay. And then be interested, genuinely interested, and learn.
Yeah.
And so now I can connect with him.
Yeah.
On a different level now, and you build a friendship and you build an inroad into his life by taking an interest in something that me, like gaming, for instance.
Yeah.
Is so not my thing.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we were like on bikes and, you know, riding up to our next door neighbours, yelling out and wanting to play. That's kind of what we did. You know, you went to the park, you'd go swimming at the rivers and stuff where you just unthought of today.
Yeah.
But so for me to build that relationship and I guess bridge what they say is a gap is I've had to take interest in what makes that generation tick.
And I think also like in an intergenerational friendship, or in any friendship for that matter, I think one of the things that we, like a pitfall that we fall into is being ignorant and think, I bring this to the table.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And so you don't move from your stance on something, or you're almost unteachable with that kind of mentality. And, you know, it's like saying, oh, I'm not going to ask you any advice on marriage because you haven't been married yourself.
Yeah.
You've lived around a great marriage. You've experienced one in your mum and dad. And it's actually ignorant and so wasteful for me to kind of go in with that assumed disposition of, oh, she couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
And so we do that even when we're
do that on
approaching
a lot of things.
Intergenerational friendships.
Yeah.
Like if you're truly wanting to build and foster and grow these friendships, then go in with an open mind.
Yeah.
And be prepared to help others learn, but to learn yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely. I even know, like, again, with my grandparents, you know, you just gotta, like, sometimes I never felt like I could connect.
Yeah.
But it was just finding out what made them tick.
Yeah.
And then going, okay, because they have so much wisdom, the older generation. They have lived life. They've been through, like, depressions and all that, like, stuff that we would only imagine what that. Can't even imagine those times at the end of the, like, so they've had a life experience. And I think, like, it's so important that we do cultivate, like, friendships.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be, like, best friends, but just to build cultivate rich friendships with across the generations.
Yeah.
Generations and cultures, like across the board, because it actually enriches your life. It even like when you have, even like I know with our friendship, like, you know, we're similar age, but we're from two different cultures. But it's been such a enrichment to my life to learn about your cultures and the food. Come on, the food's amazing. I've eaten more spicy than I've ever eaten, which is great, and I find myself wanting it.
Yeah. Getting spicier.
Getting spicy. But yeah, like it's, and I think, you know, for me, I'm incredibly blessed to have, you know, friendships across the board. And it has, like I said, it really has enriched my life. It really has brought a depth to my life. And yeah, so I think it's important. Let's get more friends. Let's get out there. So what has been one of your takeaways from, say, one of your younger friends?
Probably challenging my thinking, like steadfast thinking or religious thinking, in the sense that
Okay.
I think a certain way. And so one of the things that has been challenged is thinking about things in a new or a different way. An example of that would be someone says something offensive. No, let's start that again.
Okay, yep.
That sounds too Christian. It's going to lead someone to Christian.
Okay, all right, we go. So what has been one of your takeaways from, say, one of your younger friends?
Yeah, probably challenging my thinking. So challenging my, what we'd call term religious thinking, or like, you know, an old dog, new tricks, can't teach an old. And having this young dog show you that it can't be done. And so, yeah, in particular, one of my friends, she's pretty amazing. She challenges my thinking. She'll say, hey, Teesh, do you think maybe you're thinking about this in the wrong way, or you're thinking that you should do that because it's what you've always done?
Yeah.
And also, sometimes we get comfortable doing things we've always done.
Yeah,
right?
because
so
it's easy, right?
It's easy, and
it's familiar.
And it's not so scary to try something new and fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
But then you have friends who come alongside you and say, in particular this friendship, she comes alongside me and says, let's do this together, we can do this, you know, and then demonstrates that it can be done.
Yeah.
And so I feel like pretty thankful to have friends that are younger than me to learn from.
Yeah.
And I don't ever take the disposition that they're young and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I kind of feel challenged and inspired even by my pastor. One of the things he says is be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Be a learner always in every situation. And so I've actually seen the fruit of that in a younger friendship, is not going in guns blazing. I'm, you know,
I know it all, and
the
been
big
there,
deal.
done that.
I'm the chief, you're the Indian, follow me, sort of thing. And taking that disposition, what can I learn from you? What can you teach me? Has been gold.
Yeah, I think that is. I know for me, younger friendship, but that's definitely something that has been a takeaway for me, is the challenging the part. They challenge your thinking.
Yeah.
They challenge your stance on things.
Yeah.
And good and bad.
Yeah.
And also for me, they've challenged my patience.
Yeah.
Because you do get stuck in that whole, well, this is how it's done.
Yes.
And that's how it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so then you get impatient because they've gone a different way around.
Yeah.
And you get the same result, but you just get impatient because it's like, that's not how I was taught to do it.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's been something that for me in the younger generation has definitely challenged like my thinking, and just patience has been a big one.
Yeah.
That it's okay that they don't do it the same way as you. And then I don't know, for me, it's just like you take that step back and go, I can actually learn something from this. I can learn a new way.
Yeah. That
actually becomes easier than the way I learned.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. What about an older generation?
I think what I love about being friends with people who are older than me is their life experience and the wisdom from that, and the lessons that you learn. And you can't read in a book somewhere, because these are people's stories. It's their experiences. It's their life.
Yeah.
You know, and having that intentional time where they share life with you is something so extremely rare and precious.
Yeah.
It's treasure that we shouldn't really discard. And so I absolutely love that I have friends that are older than me. I have a friend who's in her 80s, and in fact, just earlier tonight, she texted me and she said, I'd love to take you out to lunch soon. Let me know when you're free. And you know, that I don't approach that like, oh, I have to go hang out with someone not my age.
Yeah.
I approach that like, how amazing and what kind of treasure has just been dropped in my lap. This is gold that I get to have this time with this person. And I think it's a constant reminder, friendships with older people. What has been a constant reminder to me is don't take it for granted. You're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I try to just extract the gold in every transaction, in every encounter that we have. I'm just holding on to time, trying to make the memories and trying to farm the gold.
That's it, hey. For the older generation, for myself, there's at my church we have this group called Royals.
Yeah.
And I love it when they invite me to come and hang out with them and do stuff, because there's something about, for me anyway, there's something about the older generation that lifts my spirits. And because they've been through so much, they learn to find the joy. And for a lot of them, they've lost their spouse already in life, and some of them are just doing life on their own. But their tenacity, their joy, their endurance, like some of them outrun some of the younger generation. It inspires me. And I love just sitting with them and talking with them, and like even hearing their stories. And like just recently, obviously we've just gone through Anzac, and you hear you talk to some of the diggers, and just their experiences, and you think, holy moly. And just they're a wealth of information, and they're funny. Like I love, some of my biggest laughs are hanging out I don't say this as a derogative term, we say the oldies, like it's just fun, like they're just fun, like they're and I love it. I wouldn't be I wouldn't want to do life without having the older generation as mates in your life.
I think one of the other things that I think of when you have friends that are older than you is we have this innate thing in each of us to compare ourselves to one another and to compete. It's innate. You want to be the best. You want to do the best. You want to come first, in the race. But when you're friends with someone older than you, there actually isn't a premise to compare. There isn't a premise to compete. You're actually just in awe of the race someone has run ahead of you, and can warn you of the pitfalls, and can, spare you a bit of pain. And so one of the amazing things I think about these friendships across the generations is that we can, learn from others' mistakes, but also we can be the person that helps others learn before they make mistakes.
Exactly.
And so, there's a space for everyone.
There is a space, and I think across it all, I've learnt new perspective. I've learnt that from both generations. The next generation coming up, I've learnt their perspective. The older generation, you learn their perspective, and together, you get this bigger picture of like life and this enrichment of just love and joy and just I don't know. I love it.
And imagine being friends with everybody like you. How boring.
Yeah, that's true.
How boring, how linear, how one-dimensional. And I don't think, that was ever intended for us to live or do life that way. I think we were always meant to have a village, and in that village, there's meant to be a grandma and a ma and you and your kid. And, I think there's such an intentionality in relationship being founded that way, because there's a richness in a tribe. There's a richness in a village. There's safety in numbers. You're never meant to just be so one-dimensional. And so I think it is such an important thing to have friendships across the generations.
Exactly. And I believe that we need it.
Yeah.
We definitely need it. And I think as I've got older, much older now, I've realized how much I've needed like friendships across all generations.
Yes.
And like I said, it doesn't have to be your best bud, but like just having a broad, and it does make life fun.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely it does.
And it makes it for some fun stories and laughs and, you know, I learned to play checkers with the older generation. You know, all those different things like chess, all that type of stuff. And so, you know, we encourage you to, you know, to make friends with all generations and culturally, and because it'll make a difference in your life. It will enrich your life. It will bring such a great perspective. It will do so much.
Yeah. I think like one of the most exciting things, the gold that you can find in intergenerational friendships that are across ages and stages of life is like the richness or enhancing of something you know how to do, but you've just learned how to do it better.
Yeah.
Or, you know, how to do it with less energy.
Yeah.
You know, and as a mum, that's one of the most amazing things is learning from mums who have done raising kids, you know, raising teens. I'm almost there. I'm raising a preteen, and boy, that's fun.
And I've just started raising a teen.
But I'm so glad that I have older mums to go and talk to and go, this too shall pass. It's only a season. You know,
So they say.
that saves my sanity. But I'm also just in awe of watching young mums do their thing, find innovative ways to parent, to raise kids. Or, you know, there's a particular mum who I'm friends with, and she's a young mum. Her baby's like 6 months old. And I love the amount of patience she approaches parenthood with. Now, I've got 3 kids, and I find that still so inspiring and challenging and awesome.
Yep.
And, you know, I want to be as patient as her. I want to live life in the moment, enjoying the moments with my children.
Yeah.
And she's taught me that, whether she knows it or not. But I'm glad she's in my world.
No, it's true. And you learn like a lot of cool parent hacks of the younger generation, because they're all about the hacks.
Yeah.
What makes things easier, and
Yeah.
what makes your life easier. And I learnt one just recently, which was, and I don't have this because my nephew doesn't bring things home from school anymore, but her kids were always bringing home all, you know, all these things from school, and, you know, all the spaghetti necklaces and all the paintings, and she's like, what am I going to do with this, like, you know? So she learnt this parent hack where it's like, let's just take a photograph, and she makes books for the whole year of every project, and then throws them away because she's not going to keep them, but has a book every year of all the projects of photographs.
That's
I'm
cool.
like, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And see, that's a younger generation teaching you something new.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess the older generation used to have scrapbooks.
Yeah.
My mum used to scrapbook all the cards we used to get as kids.
Wow.
She did. We had all these birthday cards, and
Yeah.
she'd scrapbook them all. And so this is just a new digital way.
Yeah. Digital scrapbooking. Hey, it's been like such a good series to talk through. Friendship is important. We're not meant to do life on our own. We're created for relationship. And so, you know, be friendly.
Be kind.
Be a good friend.
Yes. All those good things. And we got one more episode.
Yes.
And we won't tell you what it's going to be, but it'll completely wrap up our whole season, the whole 9 months. I can't believe it's been 9 months. From a tiny little dream, sitting in Melbourne, chatting about whatever on tram 76, 75. So, oh my gosh.
Hello.
Wow. You did get my birthday wrong this year, but anyways.
What a good memory at times.
Good memory, no, but honestly, it's been such a pleasure, and we do have one more episode next month, and we are so, again, grateful that you guys join us, and thank you for buying all of our merch.
Oh, it's hoodie season.
I know, we've had so many hoodies go out in the last couple of weeks, and so thank you. And we are going to be we'll let you guys know soon, but we're going to be partnering with a charity so that every piece of our clothing that you buy, like a dollar goes towards that charity. So we're going to let you know about that very, very soon. So that's exciting. So not only are you getting to enjoy something that we've made for you guys, but you're also helping so many people. So that's going to be awesome.
Some exciting news. In a few short weeks, we're headed to North Queensland. We're going to be in Townsville at Beaches Church
for the Kingdom Come conference.
G'day mates, we want to see you there.
Come on, so the link is there, and if you are in the area, jump onto their website, check out their conference. We'd love to see you there. Come and say hello, it's going to be amazing. Actually, over this next to the end of the year, we've got random dates where we are going to be doing stuff together, whether it's speaking or singing. So jump on our website, there is Where Are the Girls page, and it'll tell you what events we have coming up, and we'd love to meet you.
Yeah, come and say hello.
We're awesome. So thank you for joining us on this podcast again. We got one more episode to go till we wrap up the season, and it's going to be around the fire. It's going to be good.
Around the fire.
Finally, we're going to do a fire episode. All right, love you guys.
No one's getting burned. No one's getting burned.
Oh, I hope not. Anyways, love yous, see yous.
Hello from us.
Hello from us.